We are live. We are live. What is going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Chris with Journals Comics. Everyone is already hanging out in the chat. Big shout out to everyone that's already here. Guys, it's going to be an awesome Friday. As it says right down there, this is just the beginning, and then we're going to end up over on the Comic Book Canon Show at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be hanging out with Reggie Collects tonight on the Canon. So, guys, don't miss out. But here for Friday Night Live, I got a big stack of books next to me. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into it. I'm going to break it down on what we're going to do and how I'm going to let all of you guys help me figure out what I'm going to be sending off to CGC. All right. So, but as always, let's take a couple minutes to hang out. Let me see who is already here. Dan, what's going on, Dan? Nick and Comics, Steve, Tricky, Doug. What's up, Doug? All right. Oh my gosh, Dan. Hey, no spoilers. I mean, anybody watching the market right now, though, but how about freaking WandaVision, man? Wow, one more episode. I can't wait. We are going to be talking about it. Full spoilers and everything at the end of the Comic Book Canon Show. So make sure you guys check that out when you're hanging out with there. If you watched it, you can hang out and talk about today's episode. And how about that book? I mean, I was watching it. I've been watching it all week. Jeff and I talked about it on the Canon last week about, this book for this possibly happening. And I was watching that book all week long. And I'm watching it, and I'm seeing it sell, what was and always was like a $2 to $3 book. I'm seeing it sell for $10, $12, and then like 12:45 hits Pacific time, right? Or actually, East Coast time for when it dropped. And then I'm seeing $40, $50, $60. And by the time I went to sleep, I seen sales hit, or I seen bids hitting over $100. I looked at it today, and there was books hitting about $200. I was like, this is madness. This is crazy. Simon, what's going on? Actual Dracula. Joe, Hunter, what is going on, guys? I appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. Philly Born. Man, like I said, I got a stack of books. You guys, I'm not just taking your advice. We're going to tally up votes today on what books I'm sending off to CGC. All right, but let me give the spiel for those that don't know. Again, Comic Book Canon Show tonight. We got Reggie Collects hanging out. That's going to start at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern over on the Comic Book Canon channel. Link is below. Of course, all my other links are below. If you want to help support the channel, Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture for only $3.99 a month by becoming a patron of the channel. That link is below. You get all kind of awesome perks, exclusive videos, early access to spec and investment videos, and you get entered into all of the patron-only contests. And I've been starting to pile up some books for the next contest that we're going to be having for my patrons. All right, of course, I always talk about my Journals Comics official merch, another great way to support the channel while rocking some fresh gear. Today, I'm not rocking my Journos gear. I'm rocking Chadwick Boseman because, this is when we celebrate this month. But it's actually, this month is 3 years from the release of Black Panther, man. Can't believe it's been 3 years. But so yeah, make sure you guys check out all the awesome links below. And again, Comic Book Canon, 6 p.m. Outside of that, I want to give a big shout out to my patrons. I got a lot here today. I know I got a couple new ones over the weekend. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but thank you to the new patrons for joining and helping support and become a part of the patron family. So let's see. I have some unboxings to do this weekend. I'm not gonna do them today. We're gonna save them for this weekend because I really want to take the time to get into these books that I'll be sending off to CGC. I know the last couple of live streams were really kind of heavy. Lots of heavy stuff going on. Today, we're keeping it light, and we're having fun with comics. A few more shout outs. Hi, Guy. What's going on? Isaac. Jose. What's going on, Jose? Thank you. Let's see. Thought I saw a few more folks. Tough Book, what is up? Austin and Vicky Moore, what's going on? Pedro is here. What is up, guys? All right. Let's this is what we're gonna do. All right. I wanted to wait for a few more people to hop in and join, but let's just talk about what we're gonna do today with these books. Now, I was taking notes, looking at fair market value and everything. So we're going to be gauging fair market value and really comparing books. And I'm telling you, I'm going to streamline how we're going to do this to where you guys can vote on each book that I'm going to send in. All right. Let me get some water here. All right. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to show off each book. All right. I have them separated in two piles. I have my 9.8 potential book pile. So all the books that are 9.8 potential. And then I have a pile of just other books, you know, they're key books for whatever reason. They're not going to be 9.8, at least in my opinion. And I'm going to show them off. Once I show off all the books, then we're going to go back to them and vote. All right. And this is how we're going to vote. I'm going to drop the name of the book in the comments. So you're going to see me comment name of the book. And as soon as I do that, you guys are going to vote either yes or no. You can hit Y or N or just write yes or no in a comment in response to that book. All right. Now, remember, I am really only sending 10 books. That's my focus, 10 books. And I got, I don't know, like probably 30 books here at least. So I'm sending in 10 books. So I want you guys to be conscious of the fact that this is process of elimination. So when you're doing your yes vote, don't just say, oh, yeah. You got to think, okay, I know which ones he has. We have estimated grades. So, okay, I think that I'm going to say no to this one because I don't think the grade's high enough, or I'm really just, I don't think it adds up to as much value, whether it's financial, monetary value or whatnot, next to those other books that I saw. So I want you guys to really put your heads together to say, yeah, I think this is going to be worth it. All right. Now, before I show out the books, one more thing. I want you all to know what's in it for me when I grade my books. All right. So I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not grading books hoping to just get those 9.8s. I'm not grading my books hoping to just flip them. You know, these are books that are staying in my collection. I tend to look at a few different things, what the book means to me. Obviously, the grade of the book matters. You know, the grade of the book matters, and you have to take that into consideration. And if it's worth it, and of course, I'm looking at return on investment. But I'm not just looking at like quick return on investment to flip. I'm talking about return on investment to hold long-term, because these are absolutely staying in my collection. All right. P. Keel, what's going on? All right. You know, funny guys, right before we went live, I had a horrible sneeze attack. I sneezed like 40 times in a row, and I had like snot dripping down my nose, and it was crazy. So I'm glad it cleared up right before, but allergies, man. So I just had to tell you guys all that. Collectible Ink, what is going on? All right. Okay, guys, are we ready? Are we ready to do this? You guys want to start seeing some books? All right, let's do this. I think I'm going to show off 9.8 candidates first, all right? 9.8 candidates first. I'm excited. All right, here we go. I already eliminated a few that I had set aside, and I already went through the process of eliminating those. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So, all right, this pile right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books that I feel are 9.8 candidates. Now, keep that in mind. Candidates. It doesn't mean that they're going to get a 9.8. Obviously, we don't know that. It's my guess. Some of them have had a press. Some of them haven't. All right, so let's go into the first book here. We have Justice League 50. This is the first appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern. This book is beginning hot. I don't have a fair market value right now for this book. Tyler, what's going on? But I know that it's been getting hot. It was in the top 10 a few different times over like the last, I don't know, months or so. This is definitely a 9.8 potential book. I have not pressed it up, but I mean, it looks sharp, like it's right off of the rack, sharp edges. I mean, really no spine ticks. It has a little bit of that color wear along the edge of the spine that a lot of new books have, but those are, you can have that on books and they still get a 9.8. MitLab, what's going on? So that's the first 9.8 potential book. I have a couple copies of these. This was my my higher grade, or the one that I thought had better potential for a 9.8, and I have not pressed it yet. So keep that in mind. All right, now we're not voting on them yet. I'm just going through all of them, okay? We're not voting on them just yet. This is the first new Psylocke. This just means a lot to me. This is Uncanny X-Men 256. I love Psylocke. And this is just an awesome Jim Lee cover. 9.8 candidate. Sharp edges. I don't think there's even one spine tick on this book. I have not pressed this book up. It's not a very high value book, but look, if I could get a 9.8 in this, and this book, it absolutely means something to me. So that's why it's on this list. All right. Invincible Iron Man #9, first full appearance of Riri. Definite 9.8 candidate. Yeah, I don't even think this has any spine ticks, sharp edges. I don't know. That bottom edge is questionable. It looked like it's not. I don't know. That bottom edge is really tough there. But for the black cover, and remember, 9.8s can have defects, very, very minor defects, but extremely minor, almost invisible to the eye for the most part. But hey, 9.8 candidate. This is a big dollar book right now, too, especially in the 9.8. All right, we got the controversial Uncanny X-Men #14 annual. First appearance of Gambit in cameo. Definite 9.8 candidate, but it would be tough. This is a square bound book. But I don't know. I mean, it looks like there's a couple of little spine ticks that don't color break. And you can't really, there is, that might be one color breaking spine tick. This would be tough to get, sharp corners. I think this would be tough to get a 9.8, but if it got lower than a 9.6, I'd be pretty upset. This book, okay, guys, we're not voting on this book. This book is going in for sure. This is the Spawn 311 Chadwick Boseman tribute. Obviously, 9.8 candidate. We're not voting on this. This book is going in. So I'm going to set this like right here because out of the 10, that one's going. Simply Shell, what's going on? Thank you for hanging out today. All right, guys, it's another hot one. Mace Windu #5. First appearance of Ahsoka in new Marvel Star Wars canon or whatever. Anyways, Bearded One, what's going on? 9.8 candidate. I think it has, let's see. One little spine tick that doesn't color break. This has not been pressed. Very sharp corners. All right. Amazing Spider-Man #4, first appearance of Silk. I have a 9.4 or a 9.2 in this already. I think it's a 9.2. This one is definitely a 9.8 candidate. It looks perfectly clean, man. I mean, I'm just, yeah. This is another hot one right now. Another hot one. All right. Tales of the Teen Titans 44, first appearance of Nightwing. It's got one spine tick, and it kind of breaks color, but it's very small. Other than that, this is perfect. I mean, again, this is one of those that I would be okay with a 9.6, but anything lower than that, I'd be upset. This is a beauty. But again, 9.8 candidates. This just came as an act of kindness. I already have one, but the one I have is being saved for EGS with a custom label. But since I got a second copy, big shout out to Black Sheep Comics, sent me an A-OK yesterday. And 9.8 candidate, one of my favorite books of all time. All right, a couple more 9.8 candidates. This one just got hot. We got an announcement. Infinite Crisis number 3, first appearance of Jaime Reyes. 9.8 candidate. Maybe a couple small spine ticks that do not break color. Sharp edges. Has not been pressed yet. And the underrated X Factor number 6, first full appearance of Apocalypse. I mean, one little spine tick breaks a little bit of color. Corners are sharp. This would be another one where it's got a little bit of, I don't know, like kind of a foxing or roughage down at the cut. But other than that, I mean, I would be happy with a 9.6 in this, but still 9.8 candidates. So those were all the 9.8 candidates. Now we're going to go into the rest of the books that I guessed grades on already. And again, some are pressed, some aren't. Once I show these, then we're going to vote. We're going to come back and vote on them, okay? This one just came out of the press, but I only pressed it on one side. Higher grade in this book is hot. The Giant Size Special Captain Marvel number 1. This book is so hot right now. It's unbelievable. It's got a little bit of, I don't know what's going on up there. It's got a bit of a color rub at the top. It's got one decent sized color breaking spine tick, another color breaking spine tick that's very small, maybe 3 in total. Edges are sharp, but there's a little bit of ding on the bottom edge. I would say that this book could be a 9.0 candidate, okay? And again, it still has to have 1/2 press. Another one that just came out of the press, it still has another half press, is Uncanny X-Men number 120. This is a decent grade, but it's got decent spine ticks. The edges are not that sharp. I would consider this maybe an 8.0. But I don't know. It's like it's got some color rub really solid on the top edge right there. I would say 8.0. All right, those are the two that were out of the bags because they were just in the press. All right, another hot one. ASM 16 annual first appearance of Monica Rambeau. High grade. It has a decent sized color break in tick and probably 4 altogether. Corners are sharp. There looks what to be like a millimeter size or a couple millimeter size color break right there. I would say probably an 8.5 candidate. And this has been pressed. All right. Another hot one, Star Wars, Heir to the Empire. It has not been pressed. I'm estimating it around a 9.2, 9.4, but with that press, it could get higher than that. That's a big money book right now. Amazing Spider-Man 316, first cover of Venom. I estimated this at a 9.2. Young Blood, what's going on? Collectible Ink. Captain America 217, first appearance of Marvel Boy / Marvel Man, a.k.a. Quasar. I estimated this at about an 8.0, and I think I was pretty conservative with these grades, guys. So when I say 9.2 and 8.0, I'm really thinking that I'm being conservative and they could get higher, hopefully. Another hot one, Vengeance number 1, first appearance of America Chavez. I estimated in 9.2. There's a little dinging on the white on the top, a couple of spine ticks, but that's about it. There we go. All right. Eternals number 2. I bought this as a very good find, gave it a press, and boy, is this a beauty. I estimate this at a 9.0. Yes, I do. All right. This is a lower grade one, but a worthy book. This is Miss Marvel 18. First full appearance of Mystique. I estimated this at a 5.0. It's definitely got some damage. We'll look over this in a minute when we vote. Keep in mind, guys, we're going to be voting on these. I'm just showing them off first. I'll go over the details of how we're going to vote again as well. Another hot book, Star Wars #2, first appearance of Obi-Wan, Chewie, Han, and the Millennium Falcon. I got this at what did I put this as? I didn't write it down. I don't know. Maybe a 6.0, somewhere around a 6.0. I mean, it presents really well, but it's got a lot of spine wear. All right, guys. The big kahuna. Star Wars Clone Wars #1, first real appearance of Ahsoka. And this is the newsstand, the rarer than rare newsstand. Decently high grade, but it has 2 color breaking spine ticks. One that is deep. Look at that. That sucks. And it has a couple other spine ticks that don't break color. Corners are decently sharp. I estimate this anywhere between an 8.5 and a 9.0. All right. All right, Moon Knight #1. This one's been picking up steam. Decently high grade, but a couple of deep spine ticks. And it's got what looks to be like, I don't know, a booger or some food that I couldn't get off there. Yep. All right, last book. New Mutants Annual #2. First appearance of Psylocke in a U.S. produced comic book. Decently high grade, but it's got some rufflage. I haven't pressed this yet. I don't know. As of right now, I would say maybe an 8.5, 8.0, 8.5. A press could possibly get that up. So, all right. Woo! All right. You guys saw what I had. Let me get some water, take a quick breath, and I'm going to break it down again on how we're going to vote, and then we're going to get into the voting. I'm so excited. I do have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 346. There's a beautiful cover that could be a 9.8 candidate, but I don't know. That could be a honorable mention. Woo! I told you guys I'm really dry right now because right before we went live, I had a sneezing attack for like 10 minutes and I couldn't stop sneezing and the snot was flying everywhere and I'm just sneezing all over the place and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. So I'm a little dry, but all right. Let's go over this again. We're going to do this again. Now, I'm going to separate the books again because remember, I had my 9.8 worthy books, my 9.8 potential books, and then just the other stack of books that I guess the grades onto those. So this is what we're going to do. All right. We're going to go back over each book, and I have value for some. Now, keep in mind, I really want to avoid getting hit with 2 different tiers. Now, these are all modern books, so we're fine there. But value also dictates tier with CGC. So anything under 200 is going to be in one tier. But if there's a book that breaks 200, it's in a different tier and it's going to get processed in a different order. And you're going to have to pay double return shipping. All right. If it breaks the $400 mark, that's a different tier as well. It's processed as a separate order. And then you pay for separate shipping. Now, I know that I have some books in here that are potentially big books that are going to be over the $200 mark. Some might even be over the $400 mark. If it might be worth it, I may be willing to pay for 2 shipments, but I don't want 3 tiers whatsoever. But I really don't even want 2 tiers. I'm going to put that out there right now. But look, guys, take everything that I said into consideration. I'm only sending about 10 books. So we're going to have to pick and choose. I don't want you just saying yes, yes, yes to everyone because you think they're all great. Pick and choose your 10 best or what you think would be the best, 10 or so out of the, like I said, like 30 books I showed off. All right. Keep in mind why I'm grading them, why I want them slabbed. I'm not looking for a quick flip. I do care about return on investment, but more for that long term because they're staying in my collection. And, if the books mean something to me, and then we got to consider the grade. I'm not searching for all of them to be the 9.8. Just send all the 9.8 candidates in. That's not me. I know there's some that aren't 9.8s that I'm probably definitely going to want to send in. But keep all those things into consideration. Louis, what's going on, Louis? So, with that being said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pick one book, and we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to pick one book from the 9.8 potential pile, and then I'm going to pick a book from the other pile. And I'm going to show the book. If I have a fair market value, I'm going to talk about the fair market value. I'll tell you the grade that I'm guessing it is already. I'm going to tell you if it's been pressed or not by me yet. I will press most of them that aren't pressed yet. And once I give you all that information, I'm going to come into the comment section, all right? And I'm going to type the name of the book, and I want you guys to respond simply yes or no, or Y or N, whatever. All right? Now, I'm not going to tally the numbers up today. We're going to come back next week, and I'm going to announce on next Friday's show, I'm going to announce which books that you guys help me pick. All right? Let's get into it. So, the first book that I'm going to pick is out of the non-9.8 pile. All right? And it is Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, first appearance of Monica Rambeau. All right. So, what did I say? So, I'm guessing this book to be about a 9.2. Like I said, it has a few spine ticks, one that's a deep color break, one that's a small color break. I don't know, maybe like 4 spine ticks altogether. Decently sharp corners, but not 9.8 sharp, obviously. And then it has a small little, maybe 1 to 2 millimeter, what looks like a 1 to 2 millimeter color break down here. And it's already been pressed. And I'm guessing 9.2. A rough fair market value in a 9.2 for this book right now is around $140. All right? Now, don't start voting yet. I'm writing it in. Okay. All right, all right. 9.2 guesstimate. It has been pressed. So it would go into CGC like this. Now, like I said, yes or no response. I'm about to drop the comment right now. And as soon as you guys see this, unload. Here we go. All right. Yes or no's or Y and N's. All right. We got a lot of yeses so far. We got only yeses so far. And keep in mind while you're voting, guys, all the books that you saw. And remember, I'm only going to pick around 10. All right? Do it. Do it. Man, this is fire for this book. I think this one's going, guys. I think this one's going. We haven't had one no, but it's gonna be. Oh, we got one no. D Metz. D Metz is a hater. No, I'm just kidding, D Metz. I love you, man. I love that you're going against the grain here. You know, this isn't. You're not a yes man. And we're being honest, right? So, I don't want everyone just saying yes to everyone. That's what I said. If you guys say yes to every book, then I'm going to have, then you're not helping me and I'm going to have to make my own decisions. Right. So, oh, and how I'm going to pick the winner, guys, is if there's more yeses than no's. If there's more yeses than no's, it's going to be set aside in the yes pile. But then if we have more than 10, what I'm going to do is then calculate the yeses next to the no's out of those books, and whatever books had the highest yes count are going to get picked. Ha ha ha. Bearded One says, D Metz is a leader, not a follower. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. All right. P Kills in the comments talking about doing some flipping around. Yeah. That's what I might do with my 2 Amazing Spider-Man 252s, PQ. One of them's probably like, I don't know, maybe a 5.5, 6.0. The other one's probably like more like a 7.5. I might sell both of those to get me a nice near mint copy. All right, guys, keep dropping your yeses or nos for that book if you haven't got it in yet, but we're going to proceed to the next one, okay? All right, so yeah, I'll give you guys a few more seconds here if you have not dropped your yes or nos. It looks like everyone's done that yet, though, or everyone's got their votes in. So, all right, next one. So we're done with those votes. Next book is X Factor number 6, first full appearance of Apocalypse. I almost sent this in last year. I gave this book a quick press last year, but I might give it another press again because I have a new press. It has 2 spine ticks, guys. 2 spine ticks. One of them barely breaks color in the black. I don't know if you guys can see that. Barely breaks color in the black right there. So I set this aside as a 9.8 candidate, but I think it would be really tough for this book to get a 9.8. But there's a possibility. So I don't have fair market value for this. But when it comes to these, we got to be careful because we know that the value difference between the 9.6 and the 9.8 is going to be a lot. You know, it could be anywhere from 40 to 100% increase in value from a 9.6 to a 9.8. This would be a tough one to get a 9.8. I don't see why, if it got anything lower than a 9.6, I'd be pissed. But, yep. So, here it is. And now I'm going to type up in the comments. Don't start voting yet. So, we got X Factor 6, first full Apocalypse. All right. Oh, no, Serge. Hold on, Serge. You're going to have to write your vote again in a minute, Serge, okay? MH, what's going on? All right, here it comes, and boom. All right. Drop your yeses and your nos for X Factor number 6. Possible 9.8 candidate. Really tough to hit that 9.8. I definitely think it would be a 9.6. So we got a few yeses. Got a good amount of nos here. So I felt like this one would be kind of a tough one. So this is going to be a close one, I think. Got a couple more yeses. Another no from Tyler. No from Carlos. This is awesome, guys. I'm so excited that you guys are going to be picking these books. Martin with the yes. Love Apocalypse, but no, says Joe. I hear you, Joe. Like I said, I had it ready to go last year, but it didn't make the cut. It didn't make the cut. The books, it's been increasing in value slowly. And I do think it'll have its day, but I don't think it's anytime soon. We got a couple more yeses. Comic Noob. So I want to, just for anyone just joining, I am not selling any of these books, at least short term. I keep my books. I want my books in my collection for my life, unless I have to pay for an emergency or send my kids to college. I want my collection to be passed down to my kids and my grandkids. So none of these books are for flipping purposes. None of them. All right, I'll give you guys another minute to get your votes in for X Factor number 6. Get a little more water. Again, guys, tonight, come join us on the Comic Book Cannon Show with Reggie Collette, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, I think it seems like everyone has their votes in, so let's move on, guys. All right. This is Amazing Spider-Man 316, first cover appearance of Venom. Beautiful, classic McFarlane art. This is the book that I bought off the rack as a child. I have this book at roughly at a 9.2. I think that's pretty conservative. It has a couple of spine ticks. I think one breaks color. Maybe another breaks color on the black of the spine. The top edge isn't as sharp as it should be. So I have this at a 9.2. Rough current fair market value for a grade of 9.2, sitting at about $140. This has not been pressed yet. This has not been pressed yet. Okay, guys, remember, so you don't give your, like, when I come back and I tally the votes, I see Louis and P. saying, heck yeah, I'm going to put those votes to the X Factor book because you dropped the vote. You dropped the vote in the comment before I actually put the comic book comment down. So don't comment for the current book until I write the comment in the comment section, okay? So now those votes might go to the X Factor book, but make sure you comment again as soon as I put the book down. So here we go. ASM 316. And vote. I do have the first appearance of Galactus Hunter. Yes, I do. That is not the only books that are here right now are modern books. The only books I'm sending in are modern books. That's what all these are. Got a couple no's, got a lot of yeses on the ASM 316. And again, that's roughly my guess at a 9.2, a few spine ticks, a little bit of a dinged edge. Overall, decently high grade. No press yet. No press yet. For ASM 316. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. This is the book I bought off the rack as a kid. I must have been what? I must have been 7 years old. Hunter, this is the first cover appearance of Venom. He was actually on the cover of 315 in a little bubble. You saw his head, but this is really recognized as that first real cover appearance. And it's just beautiful classic art. So, and that's what Joe just said. We know the 315 is his first cover. Yeah, it's like a cameo bubble, but this one definitely gets the love. All right, guys, moving on. Another 9.8 candidate. Let's see. Let me pick a go. Oh yeah, let's pick this one. All right, and remember, do not vote until you see me drop the name of this book in the comments. Tales of Teen Titans number 44, first appearance of Nightwing. 9.8 candidate has like one spine tick, two spine ticks that don't break color. And just a beautiful book. Here's the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8. Fair market value for a 9.6, roughly $150. Fair market value for a 9.8, roughly $280. Now, what I could do to keep this in the 200 and under tier is I can mark it as $199 value and keep it in that tier. And then if it comes back at 9.6, but if I don't know, if it comes back at 9.8, CGC can hit you with that, you lowballed the value, so now we're going to mark it in the next tier and charge you the difference. So that's tough. But, I mean, hey, it's a 9.8 candidate. So let me type it in. Tales of the Teen Titans 44. Okay, again, Hunter, that I'm going to put, when I come back and calculate, that yes is going to go to the Amazing Spider-Man book now, because you didn't wait until I put the name of the book in. So guys, make sure you're waiting until I drop the comment with the name of the book to vote. Otherwise, your vote is going to go for the prior book. So Hunter, if you're voting yes for this book, you're going to want to put it in again right now. First, Nightwing, one of my son's favorite characters. I would not be mad if this book was a 9.6. But I'm telling you, I would, if I sent this in, I would really want it to get that 9.8. But yeah, it's got one deep spine tick, and it doesn't really break color. I mean, it really doesn't. Because if you don't look at it in the light, you can't even tell the spine tick's there, really. And then it's got another small little spine tick. Oh, this has been pressed. This has been pressed, by the way. Again, I am not flipping or selling any of these books. These are staying in my collection. Obviously, I care about long-term value and return on investment. All right, give you guys a few more seconds to get the votes in for Tales of the Teen Titans 44 before we go into our next book. All right, so let's do this. So, next book is Vengeance. Number 1, first appearance of America Chavez. Hot book right now, guys. I have this book at about a 9.2. There's some dinging that you guys probably can't really see on the white. I think there's like one spine tick. Maybe not. Maybe there isn't a spine. I don't know. There's a little bit of like some color rub at the bottom of the black that you can barely see. I'm being very conservative with this grade by calling it a 9.2. It has not been pressed yet. And a 9.2 fair market value is sitting at about $190. So if it gets higher than that, it's going to put it over that $200 mark. Again, guys, wait for the comment to vote on this book. Yeah, this could go up into that over $200 tier, just like that Tales of the Teen Titans. But again, this book has been like exponentially hot. Books and keys, what's going on? Sir, do another copy for the son to read? I don't. I do not. All right, I'm going to put it in. Vengeance. Oops. Vengeance. Number 1, first America Chavez. All right, here we go. And vote now for Vengeance number 1. Again, rough estimate of 9.2. It has not been pressed, though. It has not been pressed or cleaned. I do plan on trying to do a little cleaning to the dinge that's on the top of the book. Some of that might be able to come out, but these white covers, a little bit of color rub at the bottom. And I just don't know. At these corners, I don't think are 9.8 sharp. But hey, a 9.2 could be conservative. It could get higher than a 9.2. Especially after a press and clean. All right, I will give you guys a few more seconds to vote on Vengeance number 1. All right, next up, we're going to do a 9.8 candidate. And that's going to be Invincible Iron Man number 9. And again, wait. Do not vote on this book until I drop the name of the book in the comments. 9.8 candidate. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. It has not been pressed or cleaned. I mean, no spine ticks at all. First full appearance of Riri. This is a big book, though. This is what does concern me. A 9.8 fair market value is sitting at about $400. Now, if it's a 9.6, $180. So you're looking at about more than double. I could put the value of this book at $199 and have it be in that lower tier. But if it comes back at 9.8, they're going to ding me. They're going to ding me. But look, this could be one to say, well, it might be worth it because this is such a high value book, high dollar amount book, and a 9.8. So, you know, you might think it's a no-brainer, but when you're taking into consideration tier, that's, you know, that's where it's like, I don't want to spend a whole bunch more money on shipping. So let's get the comment ready. No votes yet. And vote away. This has not been pressed, by the way. So I'm looking at it as a 9.8 candidate, and it has not been pressed. I do think there's a little bit of a ding. I do think this bottom corner is not as sharp as it could be. That's like the only thing I'm seeing on this. I mean, the black is beautiful, as we all know. But yeah. Got a couple no's, got a lot of yeses. All right, I'll give you guys a few more seconds on Invincible Iron Man number 9. Yeah, that's true, Joe. And keep in mind, some of these books can keep going up. And if I decide to send them in later, it's going to cost me more money because they're going to be in the higher tier anyways. All right. Get your last final votes in for Iron Man number 9. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to... All right, we're going to do... No, let's do this one. Let's do this one first. All right, let's do Eternals number 2. Okay, voting is closed for Iron Man. Now, don't vote on this book until I drop the comment. Eternals number 2, first appearance of Celestials. This book continues to gain value. I bought this from my comic shop. They said it was like a very good find, and I pressed it and cleaned it, and boy, is this book freaking beautiful. I have it as an estimated 9.0, right? And it has been pressed, like I said, roughly about $108 value. But man, I mean, looking at this book, there's a couple of spine ticks that are very small. Maybe some edge rub on the edges of the spine. Decently sharp corners. The top is like perfect. The bottom, I would say just a little, maybe not 9.8 sharp, but I might be conservative with even calling this a 9.0. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. But even at a 9.0, you know, this is one I'd be happy with probably. So, yeah. All right, let me type up the comment. Eternals number 2. All right. And votes away. What's going on, Miguel Poole? Austin and Vicky Moore state, get it graded before you have to tear it up. Tear it up, not tear it up. Simon with the no on Eternals 2. P. Keel with the no. A lot of yeses, though. I love hearing your guys' opinions on why or yes or no as well. I like that. I like when you say no because or why because. You guys give me your perspective. Carlos says yes. It's an older book. Show around the corner. Yes, says the bearded one. Got a yes from D. Metz. Serge says yes. Ha! That's right, Joe. That's right, Joe. It's back there, dude. There it is. Hey, wouldn't that be awesome if it got a 9.4 too? That would be awesome. Planet Arizona, what is going on? Planet Arizona, for all those that just joined, we are voting on which books I'm sending off to CGC, keeping in mind that I'm only sending in about 10. So there is process of elimination going on. All right, I'll let you guys get a few more seconds in. And then we're going to pick another 9.8 candidate. All right. Last seconds to go on the Eternals 2. All right. We're going to go into voting close. Voting close on Eternals 2. We are going into Justice League number 50. And again, do not vote for this book until I drop the comment below with the name of the book. Justice League 50, first appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern. She gets the ring. And it is beautiful. It just is beautiful. I have not pressed and cleaned it. No spine ticks. Sharp edges. Beautiful, beautiful book. I love Jessica Cruz as a character too. There's not many DC books. This is very heavily Marvel. All right. Again, no press, 9.8 candidate. I'm putting it in. Justice League, number 50. No votes yet. No votes yet. And vote away. I do not have a fair market value for this, but like I said, this book has definitely gotten hot. All right, we got a yes. We got a no. We got 3 no's. We got another no. No, lots of no's for this one. Here comes some yeses. Here they come. And again, if I have, I'm going to, any book that receive more no's than yeses is going to get automatically eliminated. All right. And then I'm going to set all the books that got more yeses aside, but whichever books got the most yeses are going to be the winners. And remember, guys, we're not voting on this one. I'm already sending this in for sure. There's one other one that I'm sending in that we're not voting on too, and I'll show you guys that one in a minute. This is definitely a mixed one. This is a mixed one here. Couple more yeses coming in. First appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern. 9.8 candidate. It has not even been pressed yet. Shoot, I mean, could it be a 9.9 candidate? Man, I don't know. I think there's too much color rub on the spine, but you know, that's 9.8 okay because they know that's manufacturing. All right, guys, last a few seconds to vote for Justice League 50. We're going to move on to another book. right, voting is closed for Justice League 50. Next up, Captain America number 217. Do not vote for this until I leave the comments below, the comment below with the title name. I'm going to try to get through these a little faster now, so I'll just give you guys what I have on this book. First appearance of Marvel Boy, Marvel Man, later becomes Quasar. This book has been getting hotter, but has a lot of potential if Quasar ever gets announced for the MCU. I'm guessing this book to be an 8.0. It's got some wear on the spine, some spine ticks, a little color break at the top. I guessed an 8.0. No press yet, though, but still, I don't see this book getting much higher than an 8.0, even with the press. Rough fair market value, 8.0, about $70. So not much value yet, but there's a lot of ceiling room for this. Let me put the comment in. Captain America, number 217, first. I'm just going to say Quasar, even though he's not Quasar yet. And votes away. Yeah, I have a really, really beat up reader copy of this book too. This is definitely the higher grade. Reno says, yes. Yeah, a few spine ticks, and it's got a really worn down bottom corner right there on the spine. But the edges are decently sharp, except there's a little kind of 2 millimeter color break right there. Dan's a big fan of Captain America 217. He says, big time, yes. All right, I'll let you guys get another minute to vote on this one. I'm going to just check some notifications real quick. I'm looking at these West Coast Avengers 45, man. I got one. I was watching it. 7 minutes to go. It's at $152. Unbelievable. It's crazy. All right, last few seconds for this one. I'll tell you what is going we're not voting on. It's going. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe we will vote on that. All right, so voting's closed. Voting is closed for the Captain America book. So no more votes. Next up, Spider-Man number 1, Silver. Don't vote yet until I drop the comments. 9.8 candidate. It's a beauty. One of my favorite comic book covers of all time, or just comic books of all time. No fair market value, but I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to type this in. Spider-Man number 1, Silver. Get ready, guys, and vote away. 9.8 candidate. Spider-Man number 1. I already have one copy set aside that I'm sending to EGS for a custom label. But I got this as an AOK just yesterday from Black Sheep Comics. Big shout out to Black Sheep. So again, 9.8 candidate. Really beautiful copy. We got a couple no's. We got a couple yeses. And remember, guys, I'm not flipping any of these books. I'm not selling any of these books. These are for my personal collection, and that is it. Beautiful book. I mean, this book is like perfect. A little bit of a cut, a manufacturing cut at the top. Oh, man. I mean, these corners are sharp, but I wonder if, the spine is perfect. Yep. So, all right, I'll give you guys another minute on this. Silver Spidey number 1. Get your final votes in for Silver Spidey number 1. All right. All right, guys, we're going to move on. Voting's closed for Silver Spidey number 1. Next up, Star Wars Heir to the Empire number 1. This book is on fire. Do not vote yet until I drop the comment. All right. I guess this book to be a 9.4. It has not been pressed yet. All right. It has one spine tick by the staple, and it has kind of a ding that could get pressed out. It has some color wear, a lot of color wear. A lot of color wear. I mean, it's like white. Some of that you could get away with on the spine because this is like a cardstock cover and it tends to break color when you open it. But I think it's way too much. It's way too much for a 9.8, even a 9.6. I don't know. So I'm saying even with the press, I don't know if this would be better than a 9.4, but even with the 9.4, rough fair market value, $350. I really don't want to send in a book that has over a $400 value. So keep that in mind. Rough estimate value for my guess of a 9.4, $350. So let me put it in. Star Wars, Heir to the Empire, number 1, first appearance of Thrawn. This book is on fire. And vote now. Hoping we can get through the rest of these books, guys. We are less than an hour away from Comic Book Canon with special guest Reggie Collects. I hope to see all of you guys there. Got a lot of yeses on this one. Richard with the big time yes. To book, yes. Simon says no. Joe says no. One thing I would hate to do with this book is send it in and get like a freaking 8.0 or something. I'd be really upset. But I've been pretty good with my grades. I've been really good with my grades. Like last year, the books I sent in, I was spot on for like, 7 of them. And then like 4 of them, I was off by 1 grade point. And then 1 of them, I was way off. But there it is, guys. I'll let you all get your last votes in for Heir to the Empire number 1. All right, few more seconds. All right. Voting is closed for Heir to the Empire number 1. We're going to move on to Amazing Spider-Man number 4. And again, no votes until I drop the comment with the name of the book. I really feel like this is an 8.0 candidate. It has not been pressed yet. I have a 9.2. I do believe it's a 9.2. I would love to get a 9.8. If I get a higher grade and I send this, I might sell my 9.2. I might give it to my son, actually. But I'm really thinking this is a 9.8 candidate. It is darn near perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, first full appearance of Silk. ASM number 4. First Silk. And votes away. Votes away. Phil, in terms of grading, it's subjective. Now, that's a whole other argument I just don't have time to get into right now. Oh, let me give you the numbers, guys. This is another concerning one because in a 9.8, rough estimate, fair market value, $275. That puts it in that higher tier. At least it's not a $400 tier. If it was to get a 9.6, rough estimate would be $130 for fair market value. So that would keep it in that other tier. P. Keel, if I press this up and get a 9.8 and I was wanting to sell it, I'd be able to sell it for a lot more than I am now raw, though. But that's the gamble that you take. Or I could sell it, but if I sell it raw as a 9.8 and it comes back a 9.6, I could probably sell it raw for more as a subjective grade than an actual grade of 9.6. That's why it's always a gamble. Phil, I have talked about that in the past. You might want to go check out some of the recent videos I did on CGC. And I talk about why their grades are problematic in terms of having viability. I will keep this open for another minute. Amazing Spider-Man 4, first appearance of Silk. Hot, hot book. So get your final votes in for those, or for that. All right. All right. Voting's closed. Moving on to New Mutants Annual number 2. Do not vote until I drop the comment. First U.S. appearance of Psylocke. I love Psylocke. This is a higher grade, but not anything crazy. It has not been pressed. I estimated it at an 8.0. With the press, I think it could definitely get bumped up. I don't have a fair market value right now. But yeah, I mean, I wish this book was a little bit higher. If this was like a 9.6, 9.8 candidate, I'd probably it'd be a no-brainer. Again, do not vote yet. New Mutants Annual 2. All right. First U.S. Psylocke. And votes away. Newsstand. Again, it's just got some wear on the edges of the spine. It's got a couple of small spine ticks. Maybe one that color breaks. And it's just got some ruffling up here that might come out with the press. I don't see this book getting higher than a 9.0 even with the press, though. I just think those dinged up corners down here are too much. And this top corner is dinged. It's not that sharp. Even there's some rounding of that corner as well. I don't know. Even with the press, I don't know if this book can get higher than an 8.5, actually. This is another one of those books that it's it's not the greatest cover. And you wish that Psylocke was actually on the cover in all her glory. But yeah. All right, I'll give you guys another minute to get your votes in for New Mutants Annual number 2, first U.S. Psylocke. While you're doing that, I'm going to get my comment ready for the next one, actually. All right, a few more seconds. And we are going to close it out. All right, next book, X-Men Annual 14, first appearance of Gambit in Cameo. Don't vote yet until I drop the comment. 9.8 candidate. 9.8 candidate, guys. I mean, it's going to be tough because it's a square bound. I have not pressed the book, but I'm not going to press the book. I think there's a little bit of a ding on the corner there. But, man, maybe like a couple of spine ticks that do not break color. I'd be happy with the 9.6. Anything lower than that, I'd be upset. 9.8 candidate. And vote away. Appreciate the comment on the shirt, guys. Chadwick. Gambit. Still on the lookout for my Uncanny 266. All right. All right, this West Coast Avengers 45 just sold for $163. Crazy. Craziness. All right, I'll give you guys another minute on the X-Men Annual, first Gambit and Cameo. I'm going to get the next comment ready. Right, and let's close the votes on that and bring up the next one. Star Wars #2, do not vote yet. This is the first appearance of Obi-Wan, Chewie, Han Solo, the Millennium Falcon, and it's been a hot book. Definitely not a high grade. I guesstimated a 6.0 on this book. A lot of spine wear, not very sharp edges, but still presents really beautiful. 6.0 guesstimate. First print. It is the first print. And let's vote away. If this was a high grade, if this was like 8.5, 9.0 or higher, I wouldn't even be polling you guys. I'd be sending it in because it's more of a mid-grade. That's what makes me kind of, you know, I know it's getting hotter in value, and I think that's going to continue to happen. But, yeah, you know, mid-grade right now. I'm seeing a good amount of no's here. I probably only paid a couple dollars for this book, too, some years back. So I have multiple copies of this. I have the reprint, and then the Whitman reprint. All right, I'll give you guys another minute on that. Let me get this in here. All right, a few more seconds. And I'm gonna close it now. So moving on to Mace Windu #5. Do not vote yet. This is the first appearance of Ahsoka in the new Marvel canon. I hate it. But anyways, it's a hot book. This is a 9.8 candidate. Now here's the thing. There's no 9.6s that I found on the census. $400 fair market value in a 9.8. That's pushing it. I said before, I might be okay with having two tiers, the 200 to 399 in the 200 and less. I would hate to get hit with the 400 plus tier, but that's 9.8. Now I can even say 399 value and keep it in that tier. But if CGC says, oh, that's a 9.8 and it's worth $450, they're going to ding me. Don't vote yet. Don't vote yet. Any votes that come in before I drop the comment, go to the book ahead. Vote away. Hot book, though. Hot book. We know that Star Wars is on fire right now, like white hot. We know that there's something else that's white hot, too. That was an Easter egg. That's all I'll say. All right, Mace Windu #5. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more books. I think we could do it. We got about 11 more minutes. So let me give you guys a few more seconds on Mace Windu. I'm going to get my comment up, or at least type. Okay. All right, a few more seconds there. All right. Voting closed. Next up, Captain Marvel, giant size Captain Marvel, #1. I still need to finish pressing it. Don't vote yet. High grade. Couple of spine ticks. I'm going to say at least a 9.0. Maybe after I finish pressing it. It's got what looks to be like a color break, but it doesn't even look like that. It's got one color breaking spine tick, and that's it. I'm going to say 9.2. I'm going to say 9.2 on this book. Really hot book. All right. Do not vote yet. Here comes the comment. And vote. Giant size special Captain Marvel #1. I got to finish pressing it up. I'm going to say 9.2. I don't. Do I have a fair market value for this? No, I don't. I do not have a fair market value for this yet. It's been super duper hot. There's a ding on that back corner too. I don't know. Maybe 9.0. 9.0, 9.2. Yeah, that back edge is kind of squared up. I don't know if you guys can even see it right there, but probably got this book in the 50-cent bins, and it is a money book now. That's for sure. All right, I'll give you guys another minute on the giant size special Captain Marvel #1. Monica Rambeau's first solo title. We're going to do another 9.8 candidate for next. And voting is closed. Next up, Infinite Crisis #3. Big news announcement on this yesterday. Do not vote yet until I drop the comment. 9.8 candidate, guys. This is the first appearance of Jaime Reyes, who becomes the Blue Beetle. Now, I've been talking about this for months. I've been saying, look, get this book, because when DC decides to do Blue Beetle in a movie, they're going Jaime Reyes. And we finally got that announcement. And I've been telling you for like the last year to grab this book. So, 9.8 candidate, votes away. Hopefully DC and Warner Brothers doing some solid things. I'd love to see this play out. Seeing definitely some mixed reviews on this, or mixed votes on this. I don't have a fair market value, but I'm sure after that announcement yesterday, I'll probably look at them tonight. I'm sure these books are going for some heat right now. Yeah, definite 9.8 candidate. It's got kind of some manufacturing cut at the top. Perfectly sharp edges, though, almost. It's got a manufacturing cut down here. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds for that. Let's get the next book in. All right, a couple more seconds, and final votes. All right, let's end votes on that. Wolf, what's going on, Wolf? All right, next up, Miss Marvel #18. Do not vote yet. I'm a bit hesitant with this just because it's not as high as a grade as I would like. I'm guessing it to be about a 5.0. It's got decent amount of spine wear, and it's got a really big color breaking crease going like this. And I know CGC is ruthless with really long spine ticks. You can't see it that much, but it's there. It's about from here to here. I would guess a 5.0. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, it's yeah. I have a feeling that CGC would freaking knock me hard on this book. All right, so do not vote yet. Rasmeen, thanks for hanging out. All right, and dropping the comment. Votes away. Miss Marvel 18, first full Mystique. Fair market value roughly $90 for a 5.0. There's a lot of room to grow there, even in that grade. But you know, this is just one of those low. You know, I just don't know if this grade is high enough for me to spend the $30+ on getting it graded. And of course, that 30+ means, you know, shipping included. Yeah, Mystique is very underrated. And once we get, I'm telling you, we're going to get her in the MCU sooner than later. I have that feeling. But yeah, I just don't know if this condition is solid enough. That's my hesitation. First full Mystique. Might get introduced to her in the new Captain Marvel film, maybe. Who knows? I'll give you guys another minute with that. We got 4 more books, guys, and we got 5 more minutes. So I think we can get through these. So final votes. Get your final votes in for that, guys. All right. All right, let's end votes for that. Let's bring the next one up. Do not vote yet on Uncanny X-Men 120. I pressed the back. I still got to give it another front press. First appearance of Alpha Flight in cameo, but this has been the hot book, guys. This has been the hot book. Do I have a fair market value? No, I don't. It's got some spine ticks, some color breaking spine ticks, some rounded edges. I'm going to say, at least right now, at 7.0, maybe a 7.5. But yeah, I mean, it looks nice. It's just the spine wear and the rounding and the not too sharp edges. I don't think it would get much higher than a 7.0. So wait for my comment and votes away. Thank you guys for the compliments on the shirt. Big shout out to Chadwick, man. I mean, this is a beautiful 7.0 though, but yeah, it's just, I have a feeling that it's too rounded. It's too rounded along the edges and too many color breaking spine ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's a good looking book. 7.0 is my rough estimate. This one continues to get hot. It's pushing past 121, which is technically the first full appearance. Although you get some of the members in shadow on the cover of this book. All right, I'll give you guys another minute for that one. 3 more books to go. All right, get your final votes in. All right. All right, we're done with that one. Next one up, Star Wars Clone Wars #1. I'm going to make, oh, excuse me. No. Nope. Moon Knight #1. Moon Knight #1. Moon Knight's been hot. We all know that. So I wish this book was a little higher in grade. Now, I guess this book to be about, I think like an 8.0, only because it has this little, I don't know what that is, this little brown thing that won't come up. Food, a booger, I don't know. And it's got a couple color breaking spine ticks. But I don't know, it's got decently sharp corners. This book can get an 8.0, between an 8.0 to a 9.0. Get ready for the comment and votes away. I just don't know what CGC would do for something like this little brown speck that is just, yeah, in there. I think CGC would be sticklers on this one and probably give me an 8.0, even though it presents much better than that. This book has increased some in value since the announcement of the show. Nothing too crazy. We know Moon Knight has a lot of those early books, and those have been booming for sure. All right, I'll give you guys another minute on this. I'm going to eliminate one from the mix myself, guys, and we're going to do one final book. I'm going to eliminate, keep voting on Moon Knight. I'm going to get rid of Star Wars Clone Wars #1. The reason being is I believe this book has a value of at least $1,000 because it's the newsstand. And I'm just not willing to pay that much to have one book in that tier. So we're going to set that one aside and say maybe sometime later down the road. All right, last few seconds for Moon Knight, and then we're going to do our last book of the day, guys. All right, we're going to close it off. Let me type this in real quick. Okay. All right, last book, guys. Don't vote yet. This is Uncanny X-Men number 256. The first appearance of the new Psylocke working for the Mandarin. Beautiful Jim Lee cover, 9.8 candidate. Just a beautiful book. Bought this off the rat. All right, we're going to get votes going. Here comes the comment and go. Vote away for X-Men 256. And wow, you guys are voting. I'm going to get out of here as soon as we're done with this book. And I'm going to head over to meet up with my co-host Jeff and Reggie Collects because we are about a half an hour away from that show. I'm so excited to hang out with Jeff and Reggie today. I hope to see all of you guys over on the Comic Book Canon show. But get your final votes in for X-Men 256. I'm seeing a lot of yes. I'm surprised. I am surprised at how many yeses I am getting for this book. It's got a couple of spine ticks. Ooh, does that one break color? I don't think so. I have not pressed this book, though, yet, guys. The corners are really nice and sharp. So, I mean, I don't see how this would get lower than a 9.6. I'll give you guys one more minute on this before I head out. And guys, I want to thank you all so much. This was really fun. I'm going to tally up all the votes, and we're going to meet. Hopefully, I can meet here with all of you guys. Lisa! Hopefully, I can meet up with all you guys again next week, next Friday, and we can go over and see which books got the most votes and which ones are going in the yes pile and being shipped off to CGC. So, few more seconds, guys, to get those final votes in. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I appreciated this so much. It was so much fun. And you guys put in the work, man. So now I got to do all the work and going back through all the votes. So it's gonna take a while. So all right, guys, let's close the voting. I'm gonna head out of here. Thank you all so much again. Please check out all the links below, guys. See how you guys can continue to support the channel. But like I always say, you guys being here every day, watching the videos, hanging out with me on Friday, that's supporting the channel as well. I appreciate and love all you guys. I'm out. Woo. Hope to see you guys in 37 minutes over on the Canon. Peace.